and then the volunteer sent it back. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for joining us, also physically and as well as online. We do stream this live around the globe. So for some reason you can't be here because we do it around the valley. But you say, hey, I like this content. I like what we do here. Then you can watch us every time we do this, which is either Tuesday or Thursdays at other chambers in the desert. Then you can just go to scorecv.org. And you can watch us live there. You can also ask questions. So if you have a question, Amy back there is on the board, so she'll see your question and say, hey, your name? Nancy has a question. She says, hey, where did you get those cool glasses? Or whatever, right? And then we can interact. So it really makes it nice. So I want to thank you for joining us. This is put on by the Desert Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce and sponsored by Desert Lighting. Thank you, Stephen, back. As well as SCORE in the Coachella Valley. Everybody familiar with SCORE? Never heard of SCORE? Some people have. So I'll just take a real quick, like a 15-minute dissertation. No, I'm just kidding. So SCORE is really those are our dollars at work. It's a tax generated program by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. That says, hey, if you're going to start this, what's your name? Light. If Light's going to start, I love that. Yeah. I like that. It feels like low calories. Yeah, I want to go light. So let's say Light has a question. She says, you know, I've heard about this business plan thing. I need to have a business plan. I don't know the first step of it. You could go to a SCORE counselor, which they've opened up an office here, and actually Stephen and Heather are both volunteers for the SCORE office up here. So they could go to them, and for no charge, they could counsel you. But here's the coolest thing. Let's say, for instance, you go to Stephen, and Stephen says, I don't know the first thing about doing a business plan. Well, there's 13,000 of these people around the country, and there's about 40 now in the Coachella Valley office. There's someone there that's an expert that can hold your hand and say, here's the step-by-step of what to do. Then when you get done with that, they say, well, you know, what about funding? Well, they'll help you with that. Whatever it is, you just come in there and say that. They have that resource. It's free. Our dollars are paying for it. Take advantage of it. So Jeff is here representing SCORE. So if you have questions today going, hey, I like that idea, then he'll be here to help you with that. Okay? So that's a little bit about SCORE. They're in Coachella Valley. They're in Palm Desert on Cook Street. You're familiar with it? Mm-hmm. Yep, on Cook Street at 43100 Cook Street. And they're in office 104. I could say it's actually a suite 104. Nobody has an office anymore. It's always a suite. Yeah. So anyway, my name is Jeff Harrison. Over here behind us, the pretty young blonde, she is, pretty blonde is Amy. And then back in the back is Andrew McCauley. Andrew McCauley, tell me a little bit about yourself, Andrew, real quickly.
Hey, everybody. My name is Andrew.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
And that's it.
Yep.
I run a business called Autopilot Your Business. So if you're looking to do anything online,
yeah, one thing about SCORE is these are typically a group of retired or near retirement professionals. And typically, Jeff, what are they, 3 to 5 years or more out of the business?
Oh, we have people, actually now we have people that are in business too. So it varies.
But up until recently, it was pretty much just retired people. What happened is, think about how fast things have changed in the internet world. It's like for every year a dog lives, they said it's 7 years. Well, on the internet, it's about 15. So if you're out of business for 5 years, you're like 225 years behind. How's that make you feel, Jeff?
Really good, really good.
So it changes very rapidly. So what we do is Andrew, myself, and Amy, we're still in this. We do this every day for a living. So we know, like, if you come to any of our stuff, has anybody ever seen us speak before? You have, haven't you? No, you have. I guarantee you, if you saw this same presentation a month ago for blogging, it's not the same because it's constantly evolving. So you're always getting the cutting edge information because we're employing this with our businesses and our clients' businesses. So that's why they bring us in. We're kind of what I call gap education, okay? Because there's sometimes when questions are asked, hey, everybody wants to be on Facebook or social media or blog, whatever. Video, our thing is video and social marketing online, then we can help you with that. So I want to take just a second. Nancy, tell us why you're here and what's the one thing you'd like to get out of today?
Just to see what's current in blogging.
Okay, and tell us about your business. What kind of things do you do?
So I have
as long as it's legal, because we are videotaping, so I don't want to get in trouble.
Yes, well.
I didn't disclose that.
So I'm a computer person that did originally computer-aided design, manufacturing, robotics with an aerospace firm. Got laid off too soon. And so I have my own little business, and I do computer system admin stuff. I also sketch because I like to keep my hands on things.
I got you. Okay, all right.
So that's my business.
Cool, welcome. Mike?
Hi, and I am also a assist her with that.
Okay,
Co-partner.
cool.
Hi, my name is Joan, my partner Lynn, and we have a business where we make a lotion applicator, where you get your lotion into these parts of bits you can't reach. Washable. We went to SCORE in Palm Desert. They sent us to the very fully protected in our name and logo and all of that, and found out things that we needn't do, that we should do. We hired a company that were going to do all of our blogging and our this and our that. They were absolutely worthless, so here we are at dawn going to learn it ourselves.
Boy, that was such a good story coming up to that last little slippery slope. But that happens sometimes, right?
Mhm.
That happens.
So I see an opportunity for myself right here.
There you go. It's a great networking opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And I like that, the whole idea. How many of you have trouble reaching that spot in your back and you can't? Yeah, that would be, is that what you do? Is
Yeah.
You create something that gets in that.
Yes, and then we send Lynn out and she does it personally. But we
Here's my card. Yeah, if you'll stay.
We're going to get it. That's how we're really going to build the business, is get a lot of good looking young guys and girls, send them out there and.
So it's a
do it.
hands-on business.
That's
I
good
get it.
one.
It's an
Good one.
extra pair of
It's the extra pair of
Ooh,
hands, that's
that's
how it
nice.
acts.
Here, I
That's
volunteer.
great, that's a great logo. We have a
Yes.
website, you can all look it up, it's called youwatchyourback.com.
Oh,
great.
You
Watch Your Back.
We should have brought some.
Now, too
Let's
ear-
put this
Go
off
ahead,
an
we'll
hour, we
wait.
go home and
Too
get it.
early.
Tell us why you're here.
My name is Wayne Warbuck. I have a insurance agency and
Oh, wait a second, it's coming to me. Farmers, right?
I just want to see what it takes to write an effective blog. I've seen some blogs that were good and some like, I don't know why they bothered.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Tell us your name and why you're here.
I already did. You want me to do it again?
Oh, we did it off. Now we're back online. This is for real. That was.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Kathy Gavin. We send out cards, and I want to start doing a blog to get customers to see some exciting new templates and ways to use our product.
Great. So grow your business.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I want it because I'm a candidate for city council, and I'd like to reach as many people and get my message out as quickly as possible between now and November 3rd.
Perfect. And we talked about that a little bit
Dreamer.
earlier, you know.
Oh, you're not, you're.
I'm
Oh, okay, we'll let him talk. Okay, go ahead.
Jeff Bernstein with SCORE, actually coming in now as vice chair as of Thursday. So, and my involvement here is we're partners with Desert Lightning. So we're trying to enhance, everything that we do and complement each other, because I think we do much of the same, maybe in a little different ways. So, I'm a member of Desert Lightning and Desert Hot Springs Chamber. So we would support it that way. We're partners with you guys. And also, I've been very interested in doing my own blog. So unrelated to SCORE. So be interesting for me to learn something.
Great. Welcome. Remember, Jeff is here to help.
My name's Jennifer. I actually work for Borrego House. So I remember you helped us with our opening. But I'm here today for my own business. I run a business called the Talk Institute. It's a little bit unique. The talk as in that talk with your kids. So I basically do puberty education for families and help them have that conversation that's so challenging for so many families. So I'm interested in writing a blog about how to make that easier for families and give them tips and ideas of scripts for having that conversation.
How cool. I love that. Puberty education, that talk.
The talk.
I think my parents had that talk.
They didn't
That's
have
been
that
the
talk.
problem.
They didn't have that talk when I was young.
Yeah, my mom said that
Yeah.
too.
Welcome.
Yeah, I have a consulting business called Urban Management Strategies that I started this year, but I'm interested in something for that. But I also do a lot of traveling on my Harley, and I want to incorporate that with the rides, different restaurants and places that I like to go to, and it's kind of personal and business to hybrid.
I like that. I was watching, my wife is a chef, and so we're always watching his cooking shows. We were watching one last night, and I said, what I would like to watch is I want to know the backstory of those those people, not just the restaurant, their favorite meal. I want to know why they're in the business. You know, a little bit more biographical stuff, but do it in an entertaining way. How would you tell me your first name again?
Dirk.
Dirk Goes Harley. And then you go out and you do that and you create a blog, because that's really what a blog was. It was like a daily diary when it first started out, right?
Yep.
And it's talking about this, but now you're putting pictures in there, maybe a video now and then, and you're doing this, and next thing you know, you have a huge following. And you're making money, and you're doing what you love to do, right? I like that. Yeah. So if you do that, you know, just supported by, or, you know, whatever.
Got it right.
Yeah.
I'm on the chamber board of directors too.
Perfect.
of this one.
Welcome. Thank you, Joe.
My name is Tony. I saw I'm late. I had a hard time looking for the place. I went to the old one. I own a hotel, and I attended one of your
Yes, you
classes.
did. Welcome back.
Yeah, and it was good. So I'm here to find out more how I can use the block.
Cool. Welcome. And then we have in the back, we have.
My name is Steven Slomkowski. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer here at Desert Lightning, and also the Program Director. And I wanted to announce, although it's unofficial, I don't have a lot of details, but we're getting ready to launch 12 Women of Desert Hot Springs. And we're gonna basically bring people into this program, and then the ones that actually make it to the top, we're gonna match them by 4 to 1 in terms of the dollars they have to get their business started. So it's pretty exciting, and I think it's the first of its kind in DHS. And since we are a spawn of the chamber, we have to credit the Chamber of Commerce, Heather Coladonato, for that. So I'm pretty excited about that one coming. So stay tuned if you're curious, and it could be any number of people who are here that you might know or not know or whatever, but we want to share that program. So
Congratulations. Thank you, Steve. And then in the back in white.
Hi, Heather, Chamber Chick. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, and Heather, thank you for having us up here today. Really appreciate that. So let's dive in. Let's talk about blogging and why waste time doing it less than dominating your marketplace. You know, and I think it would be real easy for me to say, well, hey, you could dominate your marketplace. I mean, if I went out and tried to find somebody written a blog about that talk, it's probably not like hundreds or thousands, but maybe there are. I just haven't heard of it because I don't have any kids, right? Now it's been a really long time since I've been a kid, right? But maybe you have that. For you guys, it may be something different. So let's talk about dominating and have that mindset today. It's not about just saying, hey, I'm going to put a blog out there and hope somebody does it. It's about dominating your niche or niche. How do you say that? Niche. I like it. It makes me hungry. I'm thinking quiche. Okay? So we're going to have some simple goals today. One, we want to understand and own the 5 key steps to successful blogging. It's not like, you know, it's 22 pages. I'm always turned off by that. You know, 123 perfect steps. I'm like, I don't have time for 123 steps. So it's only 5 key steps, okay? The other one is removing a doubt about when to post. Like, you know, you post 3 days a week, you post 1 day a week, is it once a month? How often? Yeah, that kind of stuff. We're going to kind of dive past that. And how to attract the audience you deserve, right? Because an example, let's say you're attracting 16-year-olds. Is that really your ideal audience? They can't vote, right? They can't vote. For you, attracting 47-year-olds that have no kids, are they your ideal client? No, they're really not your employer, right? You need somebody with kids that are at that age, right? For you, for hotel, you know what brings them here. So we're going to discover that. So it's not real complicated. 3 areas. So let's talk about the 5 most important things you must know. Everybody heard of this? WIIFM. If we stopped right now to talk about this, you would be so well armed against some of those people who said they read blogs and like they didn't go anywhere. Because they write blogs for the benefit of them. Okay, so let's go back to Dirk for a second. He's out riding his Harley. He's going to restaurants. He's doing his thing, whether it's the food or whatever, and he's sharing that with us. Now, he's getting to do what he loves, but when he writes this, should he write it for your benefit, the reader, or for his benefit?
The reader.
You bet, because then I want to come back, right? Imagine how many of those blogs are out there, or articles written, TV shows made. It's all about them and no benefit to us. So when you're doing something, I want you to kind of use this as a filter, the WIFM filter. Hey, is this helping my ideal client? Is it saying, hey, I want to read more about this, right? I want to know more about this. I don't want to know about, hey, you do this, you do this, that you do fire and home and health and life. I don't care about that. What's in it for me? Does that make sense? Why should I do send out cards? What's in it for me? Great. You know, there's all these templates and all. Don't tell me all the features. Share the benefits. Okay, so when you're writing a blog, it should be so benefit rich. And one of the things I want to point out, and we'll get to in a second, when you're doing benefits, does anybody not like a story? I didn't think so. Or does anybody have a show problem? They can't raise their hand. Yeah, we love stories, right? So the best way to use with them, and you have a benefit, is wrap it around the story, right? Like, let's use send out cards for a second. You could talk about somebody who's maybe having trouble with follow-up, right? But then they adopted this, and you help them set up a campaign. So when they come to an event like this, all they have to do is set that in motion, say, I just add these names, and immediately it does this. And on the outcome, all of a sudden they're getting, when they come to an event like this, they're getting 1 or 2 customers a month, or 1 or 2 customers every time they come to these events. Now, that's a short little brief story that I just made up, but wouldn't that encourage you to say, let me dig a little deeper in there? Why are they, what's this campaign thing, right? And it's more automated. You have to sit down and write handwritten. I remember the days when I'd sit down and I write handwritten letters. I mean, they were effective, but you know what? It took a long time. And there'd be some days I didn't do it, you know? But when I did it, it made a big difference. Now we can automate that, have the same effect, make it personal, because it's not this, every card looks the same, is it? They're all different. So imagine if I sit up here and I say, okay, I took a picture of this, right? And then 3 days later, you get a card from our group thanking you for being here, and you see yourself in that picture. How cool is that? Mm-hmm. Make sure you do that. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about ideal customer, ideal target customer. I'm not talking a range. I'm talking a single ideal person. As an example, tell me your ideal client. What do they look like? Give me, if I said, hey, what's your ideal target? What's it
It's
look like?
pretty broad because it goes from friends of mine that ride, people that ride Harleys, to people that like to eat, that kind of thing. I mean, it's like on Facebook, you post food where you're eating, they're like, oh, where's that at? I want to go. Yeah, kind of thing.
So,
It's pretty broad.
okay, so how about for insurance? Tell me your target market. Your
Homeowner.
ideal target market.
Homeowner, kids.
Okay. Your ideal target market?
A registered voter.
Yeah. Those I'm gonna share something with you right now, and I'm gonna pull it's almost like popping a balloon. Too big. You're now competing. You're like a salmon swimming upstream. You're one of thousands. The bear just has to put his paw in there to get you, right? We want to put you in a situation where you're saying, you know what, you stand out. So let's take this down a bit. And I waited for you because you have more of an ideal client, very specific. So if you had, when I think of avatars, everybody heard the word avatar? So I want you to think about that for a second. I'm going to come back to you, all right? So think about avatar. Avatar is a little different than an ideal target market. Oops, wrong direction. An ideal way your audience consumes content. Like we had a client that he sells lifetime air filters to truckers, right? His ideal client, they do not consume blog posts. They're driving. The ideal way to communicate with his ideal driver is through automated phone messages. That all of a sudden, has anybody had that where their phone rings and it's an automated message, but it's been customized for them? That's a better way because they're driving, right? And they usually have it on speaker. They don't use it. It's hands-free, okay? So that nobody gets in trouble. So you have to figure out, hey, what's the best way to communicate with your ideal client? If you don't know that, I'd start thinking about, God, you know that? I never thought about that. I like to write, but my ideal client likes to watch video. I don't do video. You better start doing video, right? That's like saying, if your ideal client, let's say you live in a particular type of, anybody ever live in Odessa, Texas besides me? I think I was the only one there. So when you're there, you know, there's certain foods that you can only get there. Oil-rich fries, okay? They deep fry them in oil. So the idea is, if I'm eating those fries, you better make those kind of fries for me. If you cook something totally different, doesn't appeal to me, you basically signed your own, I'm going out of business early, too soon, right? So think about that. The ideal way your audience consumes their content, not your favorite way to give it, right? And we've expanded on ours. Now we do all platforms. Video was our first thing, but now we do video, we transcribe it into a written, we do an audio, we do all of this stuff. You saw, I don't know if you probably didn't hear us. We're in the back room. We're doing a live little streaming video. We had how many people on?
45.
45 people, and we did, how long was that?
4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes. We had 45 people from around the globe interacting with us. We didn't do any pre-publication that we're going to be online. We just put up there and we said, hey, here's what's going on. It'd be a great piece for you. Okay, great piece for you. Ideal length of a blog. Your audience knows, not the experts. And I've been guilty of this, of saying, somebody say, well, how long should my blog be? Well, you know, longer is better. There's all this proven stuff, but wait a second. I'm gonna kind of pull this back and realize, wait a second, maybe I don't need to write a long blog post. Maybe my parents or the mom and dads of these kids, they've got an attention span like a gnat. They don't have time to read a 2,000-word blog post to get their answers. You lose them, not because the content isn't good, it's too long. Or maybe you're selling something that I need more detail in, and you try to put it in a 500-word post, and it's not deep enough. You've only piqued my interest, and I look deeper, and I end up buying it from you. Does that make sense? You've only just set me up. We say you teed me up, and I'm a lay down for him. I bought his service. You're like, what's going on? You're not communicating the right length. Is this making sense? Okay. Ideal frequency. How often? Anybody sign up for somebody's email and it's like, man, every day I get something from them. I don't want that. But then there's some people that want every day. Like we have a client, she does daily affirmations, but they're a picture, very few lines, so it's in and out. People love that. Not everybody, but some people love that. We have another person, what was it? Seth Godin. He writes every day. Guy's an amazing, have you ever heard of Seth Godin? Amazing, but not every day. I just can't keep up with them. It's too much stuff. It's like a new idea. Have you ever worked for somebody, you come in and today you do it this way, and tomorrow you come in and it's totally changed? That's kind of like Seth. Good stuff, but it's like, wait a second, I haven't got this down yet, okay? There's a bonus, crafting the right CTA every time to generate raving fans. What's a CTA? CTA? Ooh, you should know that. Call to action. What do you want as an example? Like, let's say you do this. When they're done reading your article or reading or consuming your content, what do you want them to do? Maybe buy it. Maybe it's subscribe to their daily piece. Maybe it's come to an event like this that there's no charge, right? Because a blog is nothing more than building that relationship, right? They may never heard of you, but they're out there searching and your blog comes up because you've done a great job. And now I read it and I'm like, hey, they seem to have all their stuff going on. How can I get more? I may not buy right then, but I might. Depends on how good that is, okay? We want to make sure to craft the right CTA, okay? Call to action. So let's do this. We're going to do a real quick exercise, about 14 minutes. We want to make your avatar. Now, when we think about this, let's imagine this. Our ideal target, and we have a couple of things. One is we work with educators because we do online education. It's a $1.7 billion industry. And it's where most of us now are not going to college, I shouldn't say college. They're saying, hey, there's another place to go. I can get it faster, cheaper, and I can do it on demand. We do it through online education. So we say, well, who are these people? Well, they have X number of years of experience. They're about this age. No, they're not about this age. They are this age, right? Because if I say, well, I'm looking for somebody 35 to 45, I'm looking for a 42-year-old female who has at least 15 years in her industry. She's great in front of people. She's creative, and she's interactive, right? That's what I'm looking for. So let's say, for instance, somebody comes up, Andrew comes up. I can easily say he's not my ideal market. He may be good at what he's doing, but our research says these people excel, right? So I want you to think about that. Who is your ideal customer? Not who is your ideal target market. Who is your avatar? Give him or her a name. I'll give you an example. There's a guy online that's a podcast. His name is John Lee Dumas. He has an avatar. His name is Jimmy. Jimmy spends about 22 minutes a day in his car driving. He likes to consume online content on demand, but he can't do it video. He does audio. Audio, he's married. He has 2.3 kids. No picket fence, unfortunately. and he doesn't really love his job. He has a program called Entrepreneur on Fire, and it is on fire. He's on his, 1100 episode. When he first started, he was Jimmy. He thought, I can't be the only Jimmy out there. He started this. He now makes 6 figures a month doing what he loves to do because he's attracted those people. Now, somehow I got there because I'm not that age, but I do spend about 22 minutes a day in my car commuting back and forth. And I just love this. I'm kind of, Andrew has actually had him on a show and interviewed him, and he's actually been interviewed on John Lee Dumas' show, right? So this guy's amazing, but he started from nowhere. But he said, here's my avatar. You have a question?
What does he do?
He interviews people that are entrepreneurs in business, and he asks them very set questions. So when I listen, I know he's going to ask this template, a series of questions. It's going to be about 22 minutes, and it's going to go through these questions. So he had all over the planet, right? And he does this over the phone. Advertisers. He's like one of the most popular on iTunes. iTunes is like, they have about 500 million members on that are looking for this stuff. So if all of a sudden he's getting 200,000 or 300,000 downloads of his content a month, all of a sudden if you want to advertise, he makes some serious dollars for that. That's 200,000 or 300,000 downloads a day. And now that's only a piece of his business, because here's how it evolved. That's how he's making all his money with his advertising, right? Then he had this group of people, all these avatar people said, I know, like, and trust John. John then started a mastermind program, and he charged him for that. Now he makes over $1 million a year over a program he calls Podcaster's Paradise. Other people said, hey, I like what you do. I want to do it for me. So he does this every day. He does it 7 days a week. When he first started, everybody said, you're crazy. Your brain will blow up. You can't do 7 days a week. Monday, he does 8 a day. On Monday, the other days, he researches and invites those people to come. It's all automated. And then every Monday, 8 interviews. Do you think he's become, you tell me, he's become one of the most popular in-demand public speakers at all these social media events around the world? And he's there. He's not doing it for free, I guarantee you. His first class travel, plus he's probably making some serious dough to stand there and tell his story, right? How would you like to do that? Go to all the conventions? No, just kidding. Okay, so let's take a few minutes.
What was his name?
John Lee Dumas. It's called EOF, Entrepreneur on Fire. Yeah, look it up on your phone under the audiobooks, or excuse me, not audiobooks, but podcasts.
John Lee
Dumas, D-U-M-A-S. I'll have to make sure it's in. John said, John, you need to send me some money for all this. Anyway, so who is your avatar? What's their name? Give them a life, because it'll make it easier. It'll make all the rest of the stuff easier, because now you're not writing to this group, you're writing to this individual. You ever see these shows where, and you should be doing this right now, defining who your target avatar is. You ever see those things where they do facial recognition? You ever see that like on some of these TV shows like Mission Impossible 4 or 5? You guys watch Mission Impossible? If you haven't been to the 5th one, it's exciting. But anyway, Mission Impossible, so they're in this huge group of people at an airport, but there's a program that says, I'm looking for your face, not somebody that looks like you, your face. It's scanning everybody, and when it finds you, boom, it says, I'm locking on to exactly where you're at. That's what I want you to do. I want you to know who your audience is. So, yeah, everybody likes to eat, but wait a second. Who likes to ride a Harley? Who likes to travel on the road? Who likes to eat the kind of food you like to eat, right? Could they kind of be like you? That's a clue sometimes, not always the answer. So let's find out.
Isn't that difficult to define, though, in my case, as a hotel?
No, it actually should be easier.
Really?
Yeah, let's imagine, let's say for instance, you have a hotel that doesn't cater to kids or pets. Now I'm not trying to, because kids and pets love kids and pets, but let's say it's like that. Well, you take a huge group of people out of there, right? But you say, I'm looking for, let's say you cater to people who like wellness because you have a mineral spring there, right? And you say, well, who are those people? And they have this much money and this type of travel and this kind of, and you say, wait a second, that's a 52-year-old person. They live approximately 100 miles away from here. They take 4 vacations a year. They're married. They have no children. They're dual income, no kids. And on average, they're 38 to 39 years old, and her name is Mary, because she makes, I know this because we're about ready to go on a trip, my wife did all of it, I'm just driving, that was my deal. She makes all the decisions when you go on a trip. So now you go out looking for as many Marys as you can. Just do me a favor, fill in the blank. Birds of a feather. Hello, that's not it. That's not an accident. You find one Mary, what do you find more of? Marys, right? You find more mom and dads who have to have that talk. Who does the talk, mom or dad?
My target's more moms because I do small seminar classes and the ones making the dads go.
It's always that. We're the ones saying, I don't need a map.
Right.
I got this. You're buying the women are buying the maps, right? By the way, it's all mapped out. It's on GPS. I shouldn't get lost. This is my second trip to Utah, so we should be good. So tell me your ideal avatar. Tell me take 5 minutes and tell me your ideal avatar. And you got that glassy look. It looks like if I were on a highway and there are headlights at the deer, just the eyes look up like right now, like, what are you talking about? Who are you? You want to start?
I'll start, sure. So my ideal avatar would be a 70-year-old woman that is computer illiterate, that wants to learn about computers, and also needs a computer fixed.
There you go.
That's
What's her name?
Ideal. Susan.
Susan. See, now you can write to Susan because you know exactly the challenge she faces, right? You're not writing to everybody hoping to get somebody in the net, right?
That's right.
You're only fishing for this person. You're only putting bait on line for that person. So if I'm 55 and I'm pretty computer literate, not illiterate, you filtered me out, right? Cool. Does that make sense?
Men are out.
Men are
Because it's
out.
the women that are.
We don't
that
ask for
want to do it.
directions, right? Yeah, we want help. Okay? Like?
Oh, but we're not there, so basically you're missing
That's just not fair. Okay.
Let's see.
May I ask a question first?
Got a choice? I'm feeling I have no choice. Go
Two
ahead.
questions. That was the first one. Second one is, we've learned something today because our product is for so many different, for kids and older people and fat people. We can't see that those beautiful things, right? And diabetics, especially diabetics.
Yep.
But it's for young men and young women, young surfers that want to go out there, that are from the Midwest, that have never seen the ocean. We watched this down the lads from Pendleton going out there. This is beautifully tanned when they come back, and this is a lobster on the back. We watched that. We have so many different that now our minds are buzzing here. Do we have 3 or 4 avatars? Do we start with one? Do we?
Which was it? Yes.
Yes.
3 or 4.
Yes. You might have 3 or 4, right? But you say, wait a second, out of all of these, let's say you like fish. What, do you eat it all? Do you eat all the fish? Or do you say, wait a minute, let's start with something I've heard of. How about I have a mackerel first, right? Yeah, it could. I like salmon. I like salmon first. Then you say, well, wait a second. Are there more than one kind of salmon? You got the Atlantic salmon. You got farm raised. You have the ones that swim up the Columbia River. You have all these different kinds of salmon. Now now you're not just saying I want all salmon. I want the salmon, right? So when you're talking about this, let's say you're talking about the surfer. Is that your best market, right? They may not have the disposable income. You know, they're sleeping in their car because they have the money, but they just love to surf, right? Probably not the idea, right? But maybe someone who is older, don't have the reach, maybe they're overweight, maybe they are dealing with diabetes, right? Boom, there you go. Do you think, and we'll talk about here in a second, do you think you can write with them in mind what's in it for them?
Yes.
They have a litany of challenges. You talk to somebody who's 22 years old, do they have any problems? They got the world by the hand, by the tail, right?
Yeah.
They're invincible.
Close by.
But all of a sudden, when they start losing their range of motion, they can't hardly get up. Their feet hurt because they've got, wow. Now you can solve some challenges. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
We actually have placed not many, a dozen of these things in the gift shop at Eisenhower Hospital. And the diabetes woman in charge of that department, the doctor, saw it, took it, and went, every diabetic in the world should have one of these. You know, they don't. Nothing has happened since then, but they don't. But she is using it and showing them how to use it. So that's why I think our biggest avatar would be. Now, my question is,
What's her name?
the doctor.
Is it no, your avatar, is it a man or a woman?
It's a woman. Juliet is her name.
Juliet,
Yes.
your
So-
avatar,
Yes.
Juliet.
So where does this blog go that we can get to them? Because right now, I feel like it's the reverse. You have to type in looking for lotion applicator to find us.
Yep. We're gonna talk about that.
We'll
okay.
jump ahead.
Okay.
We're still figuring out, hey, who do we write to?
Okay.
Because if you just write to anybody, guess what you'll get? You know, when you try to answer everyone's question, you talk to everybody, nobody's listening.
Right.
But when you get very specific, like we could talk about, you know, the keys to being successful on the internet, and we're talking about all this stuff, but we're talking specifically about blogging today. Does that make sense? Okay. Your ideal target avatar.
Oh, boy.
Who's most likely to vote, men or women?
Oh,
And who's most likely to vote on the topics you believe in that will help Desert Hot Springs, men or women? Shame on you if you don't know that. I'm giving a counsel for a person running for office a slap here. You should know this.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
I think mostly women, personally, I think it's women.
Guys, we have no chance. Get on that Harley. Okay?
But anyway, and those that want to research, those that are interested in what's going on in their city.
What's most
Those,
important? Let's again, that's too broad. We're eating all kinds of salmon. I want to know that one fish. When I see it coming through, that's my fish. It's a female. We've got that. How old is she?
well, she's probably 35 to 60.
No, too big.
No, too
No.
big.
Tell me her exact age.
Her exact age, 50.
She's 50. Does she have any children living at home?
Yes,
How many?
one.
One. How old are they? Are they in that talk age?
No.
Okay, good. So that's some pressure there. Let's say you guys should network. Okay. All right.
They're
She work?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
She has to work, otherwise she probably wouldn't be interested.
She married.
Yes.
Still married. Okay, so now we're getting a little better feel. What would you call her? Would you give her a name?
Susie.
Susie. Cool, Susie. Because you know, hey, you're now writing to somebody who is 50. She has a child at home, adult age, maybe in high school, right? Maybe just a little older in high school. Okay. She married.
College.
College. Okay, she's in college. So she's dealing with the questions that are college, like, geez, I don't know if I should be in school. What should I do? And you're pumping out this cash for those tuitions, but you do that. She's working. She has to work to pay for the kid. So you can see now what kind of things would make it important for her. What's the with them? Does that make sense? By the way, we do some consulting. We're $500 an hour in case anybody needs this. I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay, does this make more sense? So now you can write or speak, however you decide to blog, to Susie. You ever said Susie? Or Susie? Susie. Does that make sense? Good.
Susie Q.
Susie Q. There you go. Okay.
They call my sister.
Well, it's really hard to narrow it all down, but I think I've got it. I've got a 35-year-old businesswoman, married, 2 kids.
What?
Her name's Katie,
Guys don't have a chance. Go ahead.
and
Okay.
she's ready to bust out with her business, and she needs help in the marketing.
Cool. See, now we're starting to get somewhere. Now, tell me, does that not get you more excited? Because now you can actually visualize her. Katie looks like something. It's not this gray matter out there. It's not like you're driving into a fog going, God, I hope the road continues. You can see her on the road. She's got her thumb out saying, I'm your person. Let me in the car. Right? Cool.
I never pick up picture.
What if they look like Susie Q? You know she needs you, right? You should be doing that, but make sure you have somebody in the car with you because it's not safe. But boy, think about that. You have captive audience. You could really share some ideas. Go ahead.
I would be a woman,
Okay.
38. 38 woman, but I don't for the woman because usually tell the guy what to
The
do.
decision maker. 87% of decisions are made by women.
Right.
87%. I ain't talking to the guys. I'm so glad this is not unusual. Amy, am I right or wrong? Or Andrew? Jeff, you've been here. Most of the time, our audience is multiples of women to men.
Yeah.
Always. Because you guys want to know the roadmap.
87% of women make what decisions?
Any decision. Where to eat. What kind of food. Where to live. Where to go on vacation.
So how come Hillary is having such a hard time? Just kidding.
Because she has men consulting her. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Have her
That
call
was good.
Heather.
That was good.
Have her call Heather. Okay, so she's a woman, she's 38, right? Married, 2 kids, works. What kind of work does she do? Professional, or does she own her business? Or professional, okay. High school educated, college educated?
College educated.
Excellent.
With a degree.
Okay.
And works in some sort of profession where she needs some additional education beyond the college rounds.
Cool. So continuing education kind of stuff?
Right.
Cool. Now, somebody said, hey, who said when I'm out there, when I type stuff in, how do I look for him? Do you think you can find her a lot easier? And you don't even know his business, but now when you're out looking, you can look for their avatar. And we're spending a lot of time on this because this is really important, gang. Okay? Excellent. Excellent.
Well, they talked about multiple avatars, and I think I have that, but I want to focus on a 60-year-old, lot of spendable income
Man?
Oh,
good. Okay.
Photography enthusiast who want to take pictures of the national park.
Excellent. Because you're in Joshua Tree, that's right. Okay. Excellent. So you're looking for photographers? How long have they been doing photography?
For forever.
Forever.
Right.
Are they professional? They do it themselves.
The hobbyist, high-end hobbyist.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, kind of, because they have more spendable income. Because photographers that don't have spendable incomes can afford to come to Just Tree.
We're on iPhones, aren't we? They're on those $20,000 German cameras, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Okay.
multiple cameras, and maybe that's the problem. The challenge would be, I'm not a photographer, therefore how do I write a blog about photography? So but I've identified my avatar, but I don't know how to now. You can.
But here's the thing, and we're going to jump a little ahead. Is like, yeah, I'm not a surfer. I'm not a surfer. Let's say I'm not a surfer, but that's really my ideal target market because they like to eat this kind of food at the beach. But wait a second. Those people have challenges, and you're going to solve it through your blog. Does that make sense? So when it talks about photography, you're talking about the challenge of finding the great places you can go where it's not crowded. You're not one of 10,000 people or 1,000 people stand on that overhang at the Grand Canyon. And how far is it? How far is it down there?
A lot.
Yeah, and you're out there with how many people? I think they limit the number. You're on your own. You can be in Joshua Tree. You're out there. You capture the sunlight. These are the kind of things. And you're saying, and we have a package that we have a driver that'll take you out there and they'll stay with you. So, wow, would that attract somebody? I got a driver that'll make sure my food is there and you have a room and it's uncrowded.
Good point. I went to Hawaii to take pictures of the volcano, and I bumped into a photographer, and he dragged me all to out somewhere where not for the people.
Not for the tourists.
Yes, and it was just the two of us taking this picture. And you're right.
We like to eat the local stuff, don't we? When we go on a trip, we don't want to go to the stuff. We're not going to Stuffed Pizza, or excuse me, not Stuffed Pizza, but the places that are chains. I want to go places that, you know what? I saw in diners, dive-in and drives. That, it's about as wide as this and through here. That's what I want to go to, because that's what got it on TV. I like that kind of stuff. That's the type of stuff. So who's your avatar? Wait.
Actually,
What's his name? What's his name?
Jimmy? Jim?
Jim. He might go by James because he's probably educated, right? Yeah. Jimmy's still learning. James has got it going on. Okay.
Well, I actually wanted to too, and that reminded me. I want to do one for my consultant business, which is the ideal candidate, or I guess customer for that is going to be a local government manager. It's going to be in their mid-40s. It's probably going to be a male. They're going to have quite a few years of experience, and they're looking to ways to make some of their programs more efficient, not bureaucratic, streamlining, and understand.
Is that possible? Heather, is that possible? Oh, it is. Okay, good.
It is possible if you hire me. Some of the people at City Hall may not like it, but I'll guarantee you good service. The other end of it, though, is I want to make it more where it's a traveling thing, where and that I think probably leans more towards a female, where they're out looking for where the places to go. Well, a lot of women do.
Yeah,
Tremendous amount of. All you have to do is look at the Harley Davidson website. The front page, is many times there's women in there with some of the new motor wear or women on a Harley kind of
Who,
thing.
how many people are making decisions? What's the percentage again?
87%.
87% are making by
Women.
Harley's not stupid.
Yeah, no, they're not. And so, you know, I'm looking for not just one niche or the other, but it's traveling, but those are going to be typically people in their 40s, maybe 50s.
Okay.
Okay.
Dial it down, tighten it up. Tell me their exact age.
48.
48. So they probably they're at the point in their life they've been doing what they've been doing for a while and they have some disposable
Kids are out of
income.
the house.
Okay.
They're ready to rock and roll and explore.
Okay.
And they like to, they want to experiment, get out of the, you know, going to Denny's. They want to go somewhere else. They want to go visit the nook and crannies. They want to go visit this hotel and see what's out there. You know, that's beyond just Motel 6 on Main Street or someplace on Palm Canyon. You know, they want to go and do that. I'm going to drive the West and see those because I've been through all those there.
So now watch this. Do they do day trips or do multi-day trips?
Both.
But if you had to choose one,
Day trips.
day trips. So you're talking to people on a day trip, right? Because you would have a different conversation with people going on a multi-day trip. Does that make sense, Nancy? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We have to dial this down tight. That's why we're spending so much time on this. Because you can start speaking too broadly and you lose them. That makes no sense to me,
Sure.
right? But if I'm going on day trips because I got to go back to work on Monday, right? I'm just taking Sunday because I'm working on Saturday. That's what I want to know. What's in my immediate area? How do I pack for a day trip? What kind of things do I do? Right? Do I have to make a reservation in advance? What kind of, if I'm a biker and I'm on a day trip and I like to do photography, wow, trip with Lindy. Okay, does that make sense? So tighten it down.
Oh, I have the name.
Yours should be easy. You're the last one.
Okay, her name's Julie, because that's actually a customer that I remember that was like my ideal customer. So her name's Julie. She's about 40 years old, college educated. She's married. Probably has 3 kids. Large family. She's probably a pretty wealthy husband, some disposable income, so she's probably middle to upper class. And she's also like a super mom. She's the one that's a leader in her community. So she's either a PTA president or a member. She's, you know, Girl Scout troop leader, that kind of woman.
Now watch this. So let's say you went on to a particular group on a Facebook or LinkedIn. You're looking for people who have those keywords in their demographic, right? So when you're searching, all of a sudden it pops out because now you're going, hey, there's that facial recognition. She's a PTA president, right? Or she's this leader. Keep going, I'm sorry.
Education is important to her. Her kids are probably in some sort of private school or maybe, you know, super involved in activities. Their kids are doing everything, sports and gymnastics.
Their legs and arms
music,
are moving all the time.
They're super busy,
Okay.
super busy families.
Cool. Does that make sense? That's really good. So did this help you kind of all of a sudden now, when you think, who am I looking for? Nancy, don't you have a vision of now the person you're looking for?
Shirley Bales.
Shirley Bales?
Bales.
Oh. So now, how does your ideal audience consume content? What's the best way that they consume content? If you don't know this, you should figure this out. Now think about it. How many ways can someone consume content?
Anyways.
This is one, right? Live?
This one.
Okay, what's another
So
way?
live, so yeah, so over the internet and YouTube.
So video?
We have video, audio, you got paper content still,
Okay.
you know, so we got paper, video, audio, mailers.
Mailers, okay.
Right.
So let's say there's a few ways. Okay, so you have video, you have text, okay, you have audio. What else? How about just pictures? A picture says how many words? Oh, you guys are good. Didn't work the last one, huh? It was a younger group. Okay, so a picture 1,000 words. Our gal who does daily affirmation, that's why there's very few words on it, because the picture does the work. Our imagination is so active, it will fill in the gaps, and it does it at nano speed. So sometimes a picture will do the trick. A picture will kill it, right? It will do the trick. How about if you had a picture that you post on Facebook, and it's a mom and dad sitting down with their daughter, and the daughter just goes like this, and the parents are like this. Do I need to explain it?
A daughter with like a look like, oh my God.
Yeah, do you need to explain that? No, and if you put it in front of your ideal audience, in front of Julie, explanation needed or not needed? Not needed. She knows what's going on. Have you had that talk? You might want to write that down. Have you had that talk? You know, have you gotten this reaction when you want to have that talk? Because you know you need to do it, especially with the girls. Guys, we don't need maths. Okay? So what's the best way your client consumes their content? Not the best way you like to do it. So if your ideal client wants to see video or pictures and you like to write, you better either A, change the way you do it, or find somebody who will help you do it. Does that make sense? You can provide the information, they'll just put in the form you need it. Okay? Now, here's a little something. Write this down. This is a little tip. It's called rev.com. This is one of the best resources we found in the last, year?
Yeah, definitely.
Unbelievable. We're actually having a video. Let's say you did something in a video. You send it to them, and for $1 a minute is cheap. Let's say you do a 5-minute talk in front of a video, which is for some people feels like an eternity. 5 minutes goes really quickly. It costs you $5. They'll transcribe it, send it back in a Word doc, and you have a written content.
I bet they do that with audio too.
They do the same thing with audio. So if all of a sudden you're at the stoplight and you pull over, you don't do it while you're at the stoplight, and you say, I have this idea, and you put it in here, they have an app, you can send it right to them. By the time you get home, it's done. These people are very quick. They have the best in the world doing this for you, $1 a minute. Or guess what? One of our, what's that?
They have an app for that.
Yeah, rev.com. Yep.
No, I mean, it's like IBM used to do that with talking.
Yeah, those are pretty good. I mean, I did Dragon Talk or Dragon Speak. I did all that kind of stuff. These people, they're real people that are taking your information and putting it on because their accuracy is phenomenal. Yes, yes,
definitely.
Phenomenal. But here's the coolest thing. Let's say, for instance, your ideal target, you say, hey, I want to grow my business beyond English-speaking people. How cool is that? You can send that information. Let's say you do a video. They'll do the subtitles on there in any language you want. We're having one made for our client right now. It's heading to China in Mandarin Chinese. Now, it's a little more expensive. It's $7.50 a minute. But think about that. Do you know Mandarin Chinese? But your client may. You better communicate in that language. Does that make sense?
How accurate are those? Because
you can have it verbatim, and it is dead.
Yes.
Well,
I proofread every single one.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
Not
thing.
the
I mean,
Chinese.
And they're not machines doing it; they're human beings.
Right. If you go Google Translate,
It's not always right.
and you've seen the instruction manuals in China from China translated into English by Google Translate, and it's you read it in English and it's not
the same. No.
Just wanna make sure that
We've been very fortunate. I say we've been incredibly happy with Rev, and we've not had any pushback except, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like as an example, we have one client that we do a podcast for, video, and then we put it into a written thing. And we'll do like, 8 or 10 at a time, and we'll send it in that morning, and by the time it's noon, they're all done. They're all done, and they're accurate. In fact, we have to take out the ums and ahs, because they're putting that in there too. It's amazing. Yes, ma'am.
The translation, I had, whom I consider a very good Spanish speaker, and I had him translate my flyer so that I had both English and Spanish. I have high school Spanish a long time ago. I can identify words. I'm not fluent, but I can identify and I can see. And I'm saying to him, that's not exactly, but the gist, the point is there. So is it important that you absolutely translate it word for word? I don't think so. I think if what you want to say is there in Spanish, even though it's not word for word, because it's hard to translate word for word.
Yeah, you don't want it word for word, and that's why my point that I'm trying to make is that Google Translate translates it word for word, and
it loses its.
Yeah, it loses its meaning.
So when you send it in for $1 a minute through rev.com, and we've done a lot of them, this is the best for us, okay? And make sure you use our product codes. We get paid on it when you guys send it. No, just kidding. We don't have anything to do with it except for just the consumer. Make sure you use that, and we've been very happy with that. And then I would recommend whenever you do anything like that, look it over again. Is this really? You may have thought, hey, this is exactly what I meant. You're going, I guess I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. Take that out. Edit it. People do that all the time. You write a book, you think it's perfect. Heather says, hey, you know, she's the proofreader, said, did you really mean to say this? I didn't realize I said it because I was recording it. We'll take it out and make it flow better. Okay. So make sure you know what your client, how they consume the content. As an example, Dirk, what's probably the best way your client consumes their content? If you had to guess, your avatar, what's her name again? Her name?
Oh, Heather.
I was going to say, geez, I forgot your avatar.
That works.
Heather.
Internet.
Okay, that's really broad. I like fish.
Okay.
How do I consume my content? What's the best way? Written, sound, visual, pictures? What is it?
I better get this one right.
No
Pictures.
pressure. Pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. My thing's all about pictures for that specific one.
Okay. So could you do something? Could you almost like be on the back of a Harley, looking over somebody's shoulder and the open road in front of them?
Yep.
And say, it awaits you?
Yep.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Would that catch your attention? If you're flipping through Facebook and you see that, and you see a female's hands, they look like Heather's, on with the gloves and the little frill. You do that, maybe a tattoo here or there, and only because you have tats on. So you have this, and all of a sudden there's a shot here, and your hair is flowing, and you see the open road, and it said, "The road awaits you." And you just post that. Would that catch your attention?
Mhm.
Learn more. Bang. Okay. What is the attention span of your avatar? How long do you have? She's a picture. Do you think she's a long attention span or short?
Killing me, man. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Well, let's take it. If she likes to consume things in pictures,
She has a smart attention span.
well, let's just say it's
Oh.
no disrespect, but it's a shorter attention span, right? It's a short. It's
I'm gonna stick with smart. I don't want to get in trouble.
I'll take responsibility. It's shorter, right? Because she likes to be on a Harley because do things pass very quickly when you're on a Harley?
Yes.
You betcha. So she's doing this. So that's the idea. Your client, they need more detail, right? Possibly.
But the attention span. is
Yeah, how's the attention span?
Very short.
So would you do it with pictures and a little bit of writing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Diagrams.
Exactly. Yours definitely has to be pictures, right? I'm thinking. Or maybe it could be a video of me going out in the morning. And these are crazy things. So you're videotaping me getting out of your van that you have for them, and you're walking out into the middle of the desert, and you see me as that third party, like that fly on the wall, setting up and waiting for that ideal sunset. Right? You hear all that on the video, and then you see that perfect picture of the sunrise coming up, or sunset, whatever. It's a sunrise. Okay? And that's the perfect moment. You have to say much on there, right? Put the right music on there, capture the perfect moment. Stay with me, and I'll make sure it happens. Wow. Right? Maybe it's a minute. Maybe it's 35, 40 seconds. Does that make sense? Okay. How long will they pay attention? How long are your people going to pay attention?
I would say do like a video of 2 to 3 minutes.
Max.
No more than that.
Yeah, you bet. We just did one for a doctor. It's 28 minutes. It's very deep. It's something that people that are doing this, 28 minutes is not too long for them because they need that information. They'll stay with it. Okay? They'll stay with it. Okay? So figure out their attention span. So when you're using that ideal content, you're putting it in a way that they'll most likely consume it. Because how many of you ever open up an email and you're just going, you see that little bitty thing on the right and you start scrolling down, it's just barely moving, going, I'll check on this later. And it's one of the 4,271 unopened emails. Yeah, I don't like those. So I try to keep it very short, even though these guys will tell you I do tend to write longer emails. I don't mean to. Okay? Just making sense? How does your ideal audience consume? Whoops. Who is your ideal customer? Oh, we already did that. Okay. So,
You're going backwards, honey.
How about that?
You lost
I'm on a Harley somewhere in the, how often should you write? Again, your ideal avatar will tell you this. Like, how often do you need to write me about insurance? Once a quarter?
Yeah.
Once a month? Yeah. Daily, you'll lose me. But that's me, right? Because I'm not your ideal target market, right? Right? But if let's say, for instance, Jeff, how often should you write to your ideal audience?
I would have to say probably once or twice a month.
Maybe that's it, right? That's all you need. How often should you give information to your ideal audience? We talked about this earlier. It's just a test.
Yes, I don't remember talking about it earlier, but that's okay. I would say at least once a week,
Daily,
daily.
because you know what, do things, Heather, because I'm gonna defer to Heather. Heather, do things happen every day in this hot spring that could be impacting people that live here?
Absolutely.
Could you talk about that? Could you talk about this meeting and how fun it was and important, and the guy wore glasses, he kept us laughing or whatever? Could you talk about that and how important the desert lightning is? You bet. Tomorrow you could talk about a grand opening and how that's going to affect, and all of a sudden it's hiring 13 new people, and this is the trade, this is their level of expertise. You can talk about that every day. How is this helping? And how could you do more of that every day? Do they have to be long or short?
Short.
You got it. Okay, so you start to feel this, okay? Because Andrew's giving me the wrap up. He's got that. Okay, create your call to action that makes them their mouth water. Just think about mouth water. Would you like tartar sauce with your fish? Right. So that's a call to action, is it not? You own home insurance. You have homeowners with us. How would you like to save 15% on your auto insurance? Right. That could be a call to action. Threatening or very easy? Very easy, right? In yours?
Twice a month, I would think, really.
But what about your call to action? We call it the Trojan horse. Remember the Trojan horse? They wheel it in there, and all of a sudden the answer came out. This is like a Trojan horse. You're putting a little thing in there saying, hey, you know what? Are you tired of spending 3 hours on a project you know shouldn't take you more than 15?
Yeah.
How would you like to get those hours back? Click here. Boy, that's a call to action, is it not? You bet you. Have you lost touch with your dear friends and they're not on Facebook? And would you like to send them something that just blows them out of the water and it makes it personal, private, intimate? Click here, I'll show you how to do that. For as little as $39 a month. Or whatever, you don't have to put the price on there. Does that make sense? Are you tired of being the last to know what's going on in your community? And if you knew in advance or you knew today what was going on, you can actually be part of the community? Join me every day as I do these here. Click here to be notified. Send me notifications. Wow. Would that help or would it help? And get people off your back? Oh, sorry.
That's good.
Okay, so this is I probably can't say one you haven't heard, right? So think about your call to action. Whenever you put something out there, there should be some call to action. Your money making, if you're driving, what if you went to a restaurant and it's on a ride and you said, hey, I'm gonna write about you. Could I put a discount coupon in my article? Sure. You mean you want to drive business to me? It's only going to cost me, it's going to be a $5 off for this. Yeah. But to get that, what do they have to do? Give your name and email address. Ooh, what an easy way to build a list, right? You know the people like to eat. They're on a Harley. They got to eat. Why not eat at a place you recommend? Yep. Right? A coupon. That's right. A downloadable coupon.
Right.
But you can't get it until you give me your name and email address. Pretty easy, right? That's a soft call to action. Make sense? Okay. You guys like this?
Yeah.
I was afraid you didn't. Okay. So watch that. Do you like that?
That was cool.
Let's do that. Wait, so let's do that again. I worked all night on that one. Okay. Now we're not going to get into this, but when to deliver your message. Weekday, weekend. I want you to think about that. When do you deliver it? Look at when, as an example. Let's say, for instance, when do your people go on rides? Weekdays or weekends?
Weekends.
Weekends. When do you want to deliver it? Weekend? No, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right. So when do you start preparing for a trip? You know, because you take those trips.
Wednesday, Thursday?
Put it on Wednesday, Thursday. When do you typically look at those? When does your ideal audience look at those? In the morning or afternoon after you get home from work, or in the morning?
It's going to be usually afternoon, evening.
Perfect. Is this making sense? When is your ideal audience going to hear you? Like if you went out every morning at 7 a.m. and you did one of these things that we did in the back of the Periscope, but everybody's getting their kids off to work, the ideal client is 50 years old, it's not going to work. When would they hear that?
I think in the evening.
Then that's when you should be doing it, right? Plus it's cooler. The light is less harsh on my face. Okay, does that make sense? That's when you want to figure out your message. So real quickly, most important thing, stock up before opening the store. In other words, content before you say, hey, I'm a blogger. Oh my God, I don't have any content. Work to stay at approximately 4 posts ahead. So Jeff, you said you do it two a month. So if you did 4, how many months in advance would you be ahead? 2 months, right? No pressure. So when you get to that, it's almost like inventory. When you're low on pencils, do you wait till you're out or you order when you're a certain number? Watch your inventory, put some stuff out there. It gives you time to research and know even more about your ideal target avatar, not your audience. I want you to kind of put that away anymore. When somebody says, well, I want to know my target audience, kind of give that look. Yeah, I used to be like that. They'll walk away. They go, what are you talking about, Nancy? What do you mean? I thought I was supposed to have a, no, avatar. My avatar's name is Shirley. Okay. Day of week, time of day, best hours. Oh, that's another one I like that one. Attracting the audience. Do it organically. It's slow, it's steady, and it's free. It's no money out of pocket. You can write, share, give links, guest posting, groups like Facebook link, and email lists. We just talked about how do you build that email list. You can do it organically. But now, guess what? If you go to a restaurant, I'm gonna pick on you for a second. You go to a restaurant, it's a popular restaurant. Do you think they already have some internet credibility? Yeah, so if you associate with them and you give a link on there, you're kind of already getting on their wave. Surfers, do they need waves to surf? Does it make it harder or easier when they have a wave?
Makes it easier when you
Use somebody else's wave for a while. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, you just made that, how'd that go? Okay. Or you can do it with paid traffic. This is faster and it's cheaper than you think. You can spend as little as $1 a day with specific paid traffic. Now you know what your avatar is out there? Google, or excuse me, Facebook will dial it down like that. That tight, will they not?
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you something. Your ideal client, what kind of magazines do you think they read?
I don't read a magazine.
So they were college educated.
They were, but you know,
They don't read magazines? Okay, how about,
they're more of a, they would be more like an internet based as opposed to a printed.
cool. So what do you think it is that, I mean, they read like, let's say they read Inc. magazine. Okay, so Inc. magazine. So guess what? You could go on Facebook and say, I'm looking for people that have these demographics, but they also like to read Inc. magazine. Ooh, pretty cool. Facebook knows more about you than your mother's did, or ever will. So they'll know you like Inc. magazine. You're a subscriber. They know you like this size of a Harley. They know you travel this often, right? They know that they know what kind of computer they own, right? They know if they need their back scratched or lotion on that part of the back. They know if they have diabetes. Dial it in. That's faster and cheaper. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I was amazed that when I put up my website for my, Devon Parks for City Council, and Facebook then tells me how many people have contacted. And so, so then I just, can I respond to that statement that Facebook has sent me?
Sure.
And then ask for this demographic?
You can,